1,000, followed by FCT with 2,020, and Oyo coming third with 433. 1,801 cases have been successfully treated and discharged, while 616 patients died, unfortunately. Information and
set up a committee comprising members of the creative industry stakeholders to come up with a short, medium and long-term proposal that the federal government will use as a guide in catering for the sector in a post-COVID-19 era. At a virtual submission of the committee's report, the Information and Culture Minister said, based on feedbacks that has reached him, he has no doubt that the report that has been submitted is a culmination of painstaking efforts.
The report, which is very rich and detailed, is also very timely, coming at a time that the federal government is looking more towards the creative industry to help revamp the economy in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
He, however, commended the 22-member committee chaired by Ali Baba and Sir Ibrahim as vice chairperson. Lai Mohammed said their commitment to the assignment demonstrates their patriotism to their fatherland.
I can beat my chest
Thank you, sir.
among my peers and say that, to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time this kind of IPAC committee will be set up. They will work for weeks. They will come out and give me a first-class report, and nobody asks for one single day for sitting allowance or drinking allowance.
Chairman of the committee, Ali Baba, alongside other members of the committee, applauded the minister's concern for the industry and assured that they will continue to render their contribution to nation building whenever their contributions are needed. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And as part of measures to assist the FCT administration in the battle against the spread of COVID-19, Security and Exchange Commission has donated an ambulance to assist the administration to flatten the curve in the territory. Ifeanyi Izumba has the details.
Presenting the ambulance to FCT administration, the Acting Director General, Security and Exchange Commission, Mary Odak, observed that since the country recorded its COVID-19 index case in February 2020, the number of affected persons has been on the increase, leading to emergency situations and, in some cases, death. Receiving the ambulance on behalf of the FCT administration, FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliu identified the donation as an essential commodity, adding that the ambulance would serve the administration beyond COVID-19 pandemic.
The FCT has gone a long way, made more provision of ambulances, made provision of hospitals for COVID-19, testing centers for COVID-19, and we are even yet to experience that number that will be out populate, one hospital.
The FCT Minister of State emphasized that in the fight against the pandemic, the ambulance will be handy for quick response in moving patients from one place to another with ease. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
And more on COVID-19 as I speak via the telephone with Professor Naladi Ato, the Plateau State Secretary to the government of Plateau State and the Secretary of State Task Force on COVID-19. Professor, you are welcome to Nationwide.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
Now, can you tell us the rising cases of COVID-19 in Plateau State? What is accounting, for this?
Yes, thank you. The trending on the plateau at the moment is that we are clocking over 400 at the moment, 391 at the moment. And the rising trend, of course, can be attributed to two major factors. Namely, one is the fact that we are now going to experience community spreading, meaning that it's no longer an important factor community for now. The virus that is not spreading amongst us. Number two is the fact that there's an increase in the testing capacity for the state. You recall that the governor has pushed for the establishment of a testing center in the Plateau State at home, specifically. And the establishment of this testing center has necessitated increase in the testing capacity. Before now, we were testing 30, 40, 50 a day, but now we are testing over 200, between 200 and 250 every day.
Okay.
Now, meaning that the sample size has increased, and so you can now see that the indices of the case indices now are increasing.
Okay. Now, Prof, please, the governor.
For that at the moment.
All right. Still on the testing, the governor has directed that all senior civil servants and political office holders undergo the COVID-19 tests.
Yes.
How far have we gone with this?
Yes. The justification for the governor's directives lies in the fact that the members of the Plateau State Executive Council and other senior government officials have been at the forefront of creating awareness, monitoring, and enforcement. And in the light of this, a member of the State Council became positive, and that's why the governor directed that all senior government officials, particularly members of the Plateau State Executive Council, to undergo the COVID-19 test. Now, the test, part of the result is out, particularly those of the members of the Executive Council. And unfortunately, we have one case, and that is the chief of staff to the governor himself.
Okay.
So the result that came in, the chief of staff can turn that report this morning. So that is why for permanent secretaries, other government officials, the results will be out hopefully by tomorrow.
Okay.
We now have update information.
Okay. Now, Prof, we hear that some out of 50 health workers in isolation have tested positive to COVID-19. What happened and what is on ground in reducing the spread?
Yes, well, what happened is that at the moment, when the whole indices came up on board, there was this involvement of all medical staff. Some of them did not go through the normal training, but I think now all the medical officers have undergone the normal training, basic training for management. We had about 37 medical staff just as experience all over the country that have tested positive. And but now we've acquired more medical equipment like PPEs, and of course there's more awareness on the part of the medical personnel itself as to how to manage these equipment. Because it's one thing for them to have these equipment, and another to know how to manage them and use them. So the growing awareness is there now, and you can see that from all the positive cases we experience now, the number of medical personnel has been dropping. In fact, for the past 1 week or so, we'll have just about 1 or 2 only. But most of the rising cases now is not from while that of the popular and the other people is rising, yes, decreasing at the moment. And that is because of the fact that there's growing awareness as to how to do some of these
All right.
treatments. And of course, the expanded program of government to further increase our
Thank you very much, Professor Danladi Atu, State Secretary to the Plateau State Government and Secretary State Task Force on COVID-19. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you for having me here. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. And we'll take a break now. Nationwide continues in a moment. Do stay.
Have focused attention on finding solutions to issues bordering on gender, security, governance, and social development.
One way we have strengthened Parliament and empowering peace is by encouraging more women and young people to enter Parliament.
Parliamentarians across the globe are observing the 2020 International Day of Parliamentarism, reflecting on the challenges posed by the coronavirus pandemic and best practices to deliver on legislations that will impact positively on the citizens post-COVID-19.
As the world responds to the pandemic, we see the critical importance of adequate health systems, robust social safety networks, and equitable economic growth that generates decent jobs. As a former parliamentarian, I am deeply conscious of the responsibility and privilege of representing people and delivering on their aspirations.
The commemoration of the Parliamentarians' Day in 2020 seeks to promote universal health care, particularly in management of the pandemic of COVID-19.
For some Nigerian legislators, the parliament has contributed positively towards the sustenance of democracy and good governance in the country, but believe more needs to be done through collaboration with the IPU to curb global security challenges.
At the ECOWAS Parliament, we took time to examine issues that affect issues of common interest in the region, particularly security issues that has become topical globally and even at home here in Nigeria.
For democracy to survive, there must be a parliament. But when there is no legislature, it means there is no democratic government.
The day is also being used to forge stronger interparliamentary relations for the sustenance of democratic practice the world over. Vivian Idekbefo, NTA News.
Following the ease of lockdown at interstate boundaries and travels by the federal government, the Cross River State government is reinvigorating its fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Ben Ayade said this at a gathering to honor the COVID-19 Task Force Response Team for ensuring that the state remains the only one yet to record a confirmed case in the country. Paul Abel has the details.
The governor commended President Muhammadu Buhari, the Federal Ministry of Health, and the NCDC for the fight against the pandemic, which is reflected in the number of confirmed cases and deaths recorded despite the nation's huge population. He, however, charged residents not to relax in the fight against COVID-19 following the reopening of interstate boundaries, as they are now more exposed to contracting the virus.
If you think that because the federal government have said open the borders, you are free to move around, no, this is the time for you to now lock down.
It was not just a speech-making day, but one for appreciations, as Governor Ayade donated 30 million naira to the COVID-19 Enforcement Task Force team in Calabar. Paul Abel, NTA News.
More reports as we join Adiola in Lagos. Hello, Adiola.
Hello, Ifoma. Good to see you. When Annie Daniels was asked to visit an internally displaced people's camp in Lagos, it was to know how the displaced persons were coping amid COVID-19. On getting to the camp, Annie found out that not only are they keeping safe, but they have decided to make the best of the situation.
The fire disaster at Ijagun area of Lagos 6 months ago left victims and their loved ones in pain and trauma.
It really hurts me, because if someone should tell me by Taiwo you are going to be here, I will tell them why.
For 6 months, these persons have been living in this camp, and plans are ongoing for their exit.
What do they do? How are they going to recuperate? How are they going to get themselves back to the system?
This is why the state government regularly educates them on the importance of staying safe. They are also being empowered through various skill acquisition programs.
And after building their skills, we are going to build their capacity in terms of giving them equipment that they will be using The government has bought all those equipment. So it is a total package of skill acquisition. You will train them, you will build their capacity so that they can use those equipment properly.
The victims are grateful for the initiative.
I love the decoration, the way women used to do it.
Even if we learn it here, when we reach home, our children can start to be doing it.
Their condition notwithstanding, the IDPs managed to take it in their stride, including little Rebecca, who is always excited to see our crew. And this time around, she held on to me as I toured the camp. The mood is optimistic and the Jagun fire victims are eager to pick up the pieces of their lives. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
National leader of the All Progressives Congress APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, says there is neither rift nor infighting within the ranks of the party, which needs no resolution or reconciliation. The APC stalwart stated this while answering questions from journalists after a closed-door meeting with members of the APC Caretaker Committee at his Ikoyi residence. Nosa Osula reports.
The national leader noted that the party leadership had trust and respect for the chairman of the caretaker committee and that they were willing to support him to succeed for the party to continue its progressive governance of the country.
Sincerely, we have trust and respect for the character of the chairman of the caretaker committee and willing to support him to succeed for the party to continue its crusade of progressive governance in the country. We are steering the ship of our nation and our party in the right direction.
Chairman of the committee, Governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, who led other members to the meeting, explained that the series of meetings is all part of the consultation being made.
It's all part of the consultation we are making. Yeah. The task before us is daunting and we need their experiences, guidance and prayers.
Other members of the committee in attendance include Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Secretary of Caretaker Committee of APC, Senator Akpan Udo Edehe, and Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army has inaugurated its restructured Ekpe barracks to increase its reach and effectiveness. The Commander, Nigerian Army Corps of Engineers, Major General John Malu, stated that the project is in line with transformational leadership of the Chief of Army Staff and evidence of the generous support of President Muhammadu Buhari. Imole Ayotokede has details.
To the glory of God and for the benefit of mankind. So is God.
The facilities include the Quarter Guard, 81 Division-based Ordnance Depot, Nigerian Army School of Finance and Accounting Official Commandant's Residence, among others. The reconstruction of these barracks is as a result of the recent expansion of the Army from 5 divisions to 8, as well as several commands spanning up.
This commissioning is therefore a testimony of the Nigerian Army's quest for peace, security, and prosperity of the nation. 2 units will be moving here to occupy the place, which are the Nigerian Army School of Finance and Administration and the 81 base Ordnance Depot.
This feat, which started barely 7 months ago, was handled by the Nigerian Army Engineers and the Nigerian Army Special Projects.
This inauguration is one of the many activities put in place by the Nigerian Army to celebrate its 157th anniversary. In Lagos, Imole Ayotokede, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Ifoma, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Adiola. The People's Democratic Party primary election panel for the October 10th Ondo State governorship election has screened the 9 aspirants vying for the seats. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that the chairman of the panel, Yakubu Dogara, says no aspirants will be unjustly treated as they await the committee's verdict.
The 9 governorship aspirants screened behind closed door are Itayo Jegede, Senator Boluwaji Kunlere, incumbent Deputy Governor Agbola Ajayi, Dr. Eddie Olafeso, Ben Banjo Kunomo, Ben Ayorinde, Otumba Bamidele Akingboye, Mr. Gode Erewa, and Shola Ebiseni.
This is my second major attempt at wanting to be governor of Ondo State, so I am not new to being screened.
While the aspirants await the result of the primary election screening panel, its chairman Yakubu Dogara said that they were thorough with their assignment.
The party will be proud of the exercise we have done, and then nobody will be unjustifiably denied clearance for any reason. Anyone who is qualified, as a matter of fact, is not even our responsibility to clear them. It's the documents they are putting before us, that will clear them.
The People's Democratic Party's primary election for the Ondo State governorship election is slated for the 22nd of this month. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has paid glowing tribute to the late Ooni of Ife, Oba Adesoji Aderemi, on the 40th remembrance anniversary of the passage of the foremost monarch. In a message by Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari recalled the imprints of a foremost nationalist, successful businessman, former governor of Western Region and traditional ruler who contributed immensely to the society in the provision of schools, dispensaries, churches and museums. Notable in his domain, he attracted the establishment of waterworks, electricity projects and the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. As the family remembers this monarch knighted twice by the Queen of England, President Buhari prays his memory remains evergreen for the guidance and inspiration of current and future generations. We now join Zule in Kaduna for the next set of reports. Hello, Zule.
Thank you, Ifeoma, and welcome to Kaduna. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it is now focusing its attention on rural communities that harbor illicit drug dealers and users as part of current efforts to make Nigeria a drug-free nation. The Jigawa State Commander of the NDLEA, Mariam Sani Gambo, stated this in duty while reviewing activities of the agency. Hawa Hadiru Haruna reports.
With reference to the data released by the command to commemorate 2020 Drug-Free Day, Jigawa State is among the leading states on illicit drug list, as it has now become a dumping ground for drug barons in the business of cannabis. Against this background, the commander, Mariam Sani Gambo, has admonished the general public to be vigilant and mindful.
I want to give a sound warning that Jigawa State will not be used as warehouse of this merchant of death, and that we are on them and will soon get them. And we will not relent, because this is just the beginning. We will not allow the people of the state to be used.
The commander expressed worry over the huge pending cases caused by the absence of standing judge at the Federal High Court.
The barons that have money, they are able to get lawyers who can grant seek for bail on their behalf. So a lot of them are roaming the streets, going back to the same business. So we are in a sort of vicious cycle now with the barons. So we are appealing to the government to ensure that a sitting judge is sent to Jigawa State so that we can put all these criminals behind the bars.
In another development, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a GSM line is open for online counseling to ensure a free and healthy society devoid of drugs. Hawa Haller Haruna, NTA News.
About 250 youths drawn from the 44 local government areas of Kano State have benefited from the Micro-Enterprise Enhancement Scheme of the National Directorate of Employment, NDE. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the beneficiaries received 10,000 naira each to start up businesses so as to become economically relevant in the society.
The commitment of the Buhari administration to lift youth out of poverty and unemployment remain on course in view of several programs on empowerment. The Micro-Enterprise Enhancement Scheme is jointly effort of the federal government and Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly matters aimed at cushioning the effects of coronavirus pandemic.
This little money being given to people and coming at this point in time, this critical time, I think, in my view, will go a long way in cushioning the effects of this lockdown.
I'm sure we all agree that a lot, especially the women folk, had been very enterprising in terms of, creating value with very small amounts of capital. And to that extent, of course, I am optimistic, God willing, they will apply these little resources to improve their existing businesses for those that have one.
Representative of Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje thanked the federal government for empowering youth in the state. Each of the beneficiaries received 10,000 naira.
We are grateful to President Muhammadu Buhari, especially women folk. From this venue, I am going to the market to buy 1 or 2 things for my business.
The exercise was conducted under the safety protocols of COVID-19. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And we're back to Ijoma Ifoma in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Zuley. Now, Nigerians have continued to applaud the leadership of the National Assembly for their intervention in the proposed hike in electricity tariffs. Some residents of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, who spoke with Clement Barikwi, say the move by the lawmakers, which led to the suspension of the new price regime, reflected their wishes.
The National Assembly leaders were emphatic at a meeting with the DISCOs and NEC that the timing of the planned hike was wrong, even though they had not much issue with the need to introduce a cost-reflective tariffs for the power sector. Residents of Uyo could not agree to this less.
I am very happy that once again the National Assembly has risen up to the occasion by way of rescuing the generality of the masses of this country from the hardship. It's a welcome relief.
It's not the issue of increase or decrease in tariff. It's all about fighting corruption. People have been paying for light they don't enjoy.
They shouldn't bother about money. Let us have the light. When we have the light and enjoy the light, we will pay for the light.
In Uyo, Clement Barikwi, NTA News.
Many youths in Benue State are keen to be part of the Batch C Empower program, commending the federal government for initiating a platform that has transformed the lives of numerous Nigerian youths. Elias Itiav, who monitored the ongoing registration of the program in Makurdi, reports that apart from the initial hitches, the exercise is now moving on seamlessly.
For the current applicants who are expected to replace batches A and B, they are thankful to the federal government for the opportunity.
This Empower is really beneficial to we in Nigeria, especially the youth who are jobless and we don't have anything doing for now.
The federal government has tried in its own capacity to see that its citizens applied for things like the COVID-19 loans and then the Empower.
They, however, call for due process in the recruitment exercise.
Things are very difficult, but since the government is still identifying with the youth, and some of us have finished school long ago, there is no employment. Since this is an avenue by which government is seeing us through.
There is a challenge concerning the network because like the date that they said that the portal was supposed to open, there was a lot of problems. We were unable to do the registration like last year.
The program is now 1 year, meaning that after 1 year, those who don't have the opportunity now could still reapply as long as you fall within the ages of 18 to 35 years.
In Makurdi, Elias, ATF, NTA News.
And security now, partnering relevant stakeholders to ensure security on the nation's maritime domain, as well as making its presence felt in Cross River State to reduce crime are some of the issues that dominated deliberations between the state government and the Nigerian Navy. Paul Abel reports that this was at a familiarization visit by the new Commander Nigerian Navy ship, Victory Calabar Commodore Idi Abbas, to Governor Ayade. I'm sorry we can't bring you that report now. And moving on, still on security, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has obliterated a Boko Haram terrorist meeting venue along with other structures and neutralized several of their fighters on the fringes of the Sambisa forest in Borno State. The air interdiction mission was executed on the 2nd of July 2020 to mark the launch of subsidiary Operation Long Reach 2 after a series of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions had established that a prominent building in the middle of the settlement was being used as a meeting venue where terrorists plan and launch attacks, as well as house of some of their fighters. Consequently, the ATF dispatched a force package of Nigerian Air Force fighter jets to attack the location. The first jet in the first wave of attack recorded a precision bomb strike on the designated target, completely destroying it. The Boko Haram terrorists were also killed as a result of the strikes. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, who is in Maiduguri to personally oversee the conduct of Operation Long Reach 2, has commended the ATF for their dexterity and professionalism. And troops of Operation Safe Haven have killed 2 armed robbers in Rock Haven General Area of Jos North Plateau State. A statement by the Coordinator Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, indicates that the criminals were eliminated following intelligence reports on the activities of the robbers in the area. General Enenche notes that some of the criminals escaped with bullet injuries and arms were recovered in the operation. Now, some days ago, some groups in Kaura local government alleged in some quarters the presence of over 600 armed bandits at Zangyang Hills. The Kaduna State government reached out to security agencies for immediate action on the issue. A statement by Commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwang, Operation Safe Haven, and a detachment of the Special Forces of the Nigerian Army carried out extensive fighting patrols on the hills on the 21st of June, stretching up to Kagoro Hills and other suspected hideouts, but encountered no bandits throughout the extensive fighting patrols. The Kaduna State government commends the officers and men for a job well done and reiterates its appeal to aggrieved communities, individuals and groups not to resort to self-help and jungle justice, but rather comply with the rule of law to avoid vicious circles of reprisals. I will now join Chinenge in Enugu for more reports. It's over to you, Chinenge.
Ifoma, good evening and welcome to Enugu. As part of activities marking this year's Army Day celebration, the Nigerian Army 34 Artillery Brigade has renovated classroom blocks in some secondary schools in Owerri West local government area of Imo State. Rina Ohiri reports that the buildings were inaugurated by the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma.
All excitement for the people of Amakohilbi Autonomous Community as they turned out to receive the renovated school blocks by the Nigerian Army 34 Artillery Brigade Obinze. Their excitement is not unconnected to the deplorable state of the buildings before the intervention of the Nigerian Army at the community primary school and primary school Amakohilbi.
I'm feeling very, very well. I'm feeling very, very happy.
A classroom may contain about 3 classes of people. Before, they sit on the floor.
Our children will enjoy it, even the adults, everybody will enjoy it.
Inaugurating the project, Governor Hope Uzodimma commended the Nigerian Army for the initiative, which he says will enhance teaching and learning in the schools.
It is a good thing that Nigerian Army has opened the door for development to this community.
The Chief of Army Staff, represented by the General Officer commanding 82 Division, Major General Lasisi Adeboye, says the aim of the project is to foster civil-military cooperation as well as offer humanitarian service to their host communities.
We are gathered here today because of commitment and relentless service in the Nigerian Army and by extension to the nation.
The renovated school blocks contain 5 classrooms each. In Owerri, Rina Ihiri, NTA News.
Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State has pledged his administration's commitment to partner the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, Enugu State Chapter, NAWOJ, in the crusade on sexual violence against the girl child in the state. He made the commitment while receiving members of the association at the Government House, Enugu. Comfort Aim has the report.
Governor's representative said the state, through the Ministry of Gender Affairs, is on red alert to ensure a zero tolerance for rape, child defilement, and molestation.
We want to state categorically as a government that we do not accept it as an excuse. However, if you think there's anything we can do to partner, you mentioned our schools. We are ready to do that.
The leader of the association who led the team, Chinyere Mbo, appreciated government concern over the fight against rape and stressed the need for the government to introduce a rape hotline for the masses where complaints on the subject matter can be reported.
Rape is inhuman, rape is evil, and we advocate zero tolerance to rape. We advocate stiffer penalty for rapists.
The Stop Rape Walk took the association to the streets and various markets in a peaceful protest. It is the consensus of the association, NAWOJ and Enugu State Chapter, that the parents on their part should also add their quota in the fight by ensuring their female child do not at any time dress indecently. In Enugu, Comfort Ayim, NTA News.
And that is it from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Ifoma in Abuja after this commercial break. This day.
You're welcome back. And now sports. The Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development submits COVID-19 sports code protocol to Presidential Task Force. Ayodeji Makinde has these and more on Sports Updates.
A 12-member committee for the official launching of Nigeria Sports Hall of Fame and Nigeria Sports Book of Records has been inaugurated in Abuja by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, Gabriel Aduda. The committee, chaired by Dance Adokie, is set to meet the mandate of identifying those who have sacrificed their lives for the growth and development of sports in the country.
We should be able to create an awareness for this nation to make sure that our athletes work hard so that they'll be honored any day, whether they are not or not.
In a related development, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development has submitted the COVID-19 Sports Code Protocol to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and the leadership of the National Assembly towards a slight ease of lockdown on individual and non-contact sports.
Work with the various committees on COVID-19 to ensure that their rules and regulations are in place. We think that Nigeria also should be able to join the rest of the world in returning back to our sporting activities as soon as practicable.
Away from Nigeria, 5 matches will be decided on Saturday in the English Premier League as Norwich City confronts Brighton and Leicester City welcome Crystal Palace, while Manchester United will host AFC Bournemouth in the match that will be transmitted live on the NTA network at 2:30 p.m. In Abuja, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching and keep staying safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Let me remind us all that this pandemic is spreading like wildfire. We must all arise to fight this potent and invisible common enemy by adhering to the guidelines and protocols for COVID-19, which includes personal hygiene, social distancing. We must wear masks in public places, obeying the stay-at-home order, and reporting unusual illness to the authorities for investigation.
Anybody who is exposed can contract coronavirus, but not everybody has a fair chance of surviving the disease. Data has shown that older persons stand a higher risk of dying. Are you 55 years and above? Do you have pre-existing health conditions? Please safeguard yourself and minimize your risk. Observe all COVID-19 protocols.
If you hear of anyone with high fever, dry cough, and difficulty in breathing, please do not go near such a person because they could be a victim of coronavirus infection. Call someone else or the NCDC to assist. Please use your prescribed medications regularly. Exercise around your home and eat well so that you can remain healthy and strong. For an older adult, to beat coronavirus is not to contract it at all.
This message is brought to you by Gerontology Association of Nigeria, the Geriatrics Association of Nigeria, and Dave Mokoro Foundation in conjunction with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.